So there exists within us every bit of everything. That means every bit of beauty that we can experience outside of us. All of this, her, all these living and breathing mountains, all these valleys, these rivers, these trees, these wonderful protecting, healing plants, these wonderful poisonous plants. Every bit of it exists within us as well as without. The deeper we can go into that understanding, the more blurred the lines become until we realize there are no true definitions. There are no true separations. And that means there's healing available for all of us as well. And there really is. There really is. I know that it can be exhausting, and I know that it can be repetitive, and I know that we can cause so much pain that we feel like there's no going back for us, or there's no forgiving us. And I know that there are people who've caused us so much pain that we find it nearly impossible to heal through that, or to let go of the resentments and the anger, to forgive. I know that. I know it can feel impossible, or it can feel insurmountable. But it's not. Because if it exists, then it exists within and without. And if it exists within and without, and we can move it through ourselves, we can find a place for it. We can learn to stop rejecting those parts of ourselves that we've been taught to hate, or to be ashamed of, or to be embarrassed of, or to be guilty because of, or ashamed for the way we behaved, or the words that we used when we were sick, or when we were hurt, or when we were tired. And I know this not because I've read it in books, or because some guru told me. They have, and I believe them. But I know this because I'm experiencing it right now. And I'm not just experiencing it because I'm in all of this beauty. I'm literally surrounded by the openness and beauty of this entire valley. That if I had the eyes to see, it would be the entire world. I'm surrounded by the entire world, and I am surrounded by the entire universe and the entirety of existence. I'm surrounded by it. But I'm not the center of it. I'm actually the home of it. It's different. It's a different place to be. To realize that I am the home of everything means that I am as much the home of my pain and of my trauma, both that I've experienced and embodied, and that which I have passed forward and inflicted upon others. I'm the home of that. And I'm the home of the healing. I'm the home of the way forward and the way through. And it actually lives inside of my body. And it lives inside of your body. And you're holding it. And that can be a burden, like a bag on your back that you carry up the mountain. Like tonight, I walked up this mountain with everything I need to sleep out here, maybe for 2 or 3 nights, I don't know. I carried that up this hill, and it was hard, and it hurts. So I could carry my pains that way, and my body. I can carry it in my back, and I can carry it in my legs and on my feet that hurt every night. And I can use my amazing miracle of a brain and mind to rationalize it, or to ignore it, or to blame somebody else for it. Or I can use this amazing bit of existence, this moment where I'm having a physical experience and a spiritual life. And I can use that to find a place for that history to live and exist in my body without having to carry it on my back and hide it in shame. Look, I've said awful things to people. I've done awful things to people. I know this. And this is not my time to center myself begging for forgiveness. This is the time that I'm deciding to share that I'm finding healing through that, and I'm discovering pain in my body that I did not remember where it came from. And it's got faces, and it's got names, and it's got times and places. It's got all of that. And when we find it, we can actually go back to those times and those places, and we can see those faces of those people who were sick with pain, and they had to move that pain on to us. They had to abuse you. They had to abuse me. They had to, because it was too much for them to carry alone. So they pushed it on like a strange virus, like a pandemic. They spread that disease on, and we got the sickness. And we can travel through our history and go back to that place inside of ourselves, that unbroken lineage of life that we have in our physical bodies. We can find that pain, that trauma, that experience, and we can heal it. We can forgive ourselves, and we can forgive whomever it was that was so afflicted with their pain that they just had to give it to us. And it's really, really scary sometimes to think about that. But the weight being lifted off of your back, out of your head, the buzzing of flies in your head each night as you lay in bed, regretting things that you said and wishing things that you didn't say. All of a sudden, you can accept that part of who you are, and you can heal it, and you don't have to pass that disease on anymore. That's what forgiveness is. It's finding the ability to cure yourself of the plague that you were given, the pain plague, the terror plague, the abuse plague, the rape plague, whatever it was that they did to you. It's not you. It happened to you. It's a part of you now, and you can heal it. I promise you, you can. I don't know how long it would take, and I don't have a solution for you, and I don't have a specific chant or mantra or a yoga practice. I do all of those things, and those things have really, really helped me immensely. Really have. I'm opening parts of my body now where I've been holding on to those pains for so long. It's unbelievable. But I'm finding ways to forgive the people, the adults when I was a child who were sick with that pain. I'm finding ways to forgive them. And I'm finding ways to forgive myself. And I'm out here on this beautiful mountaintop tonight to be thankful and to have gratitude. To sing songs and to sit with this whole world on my back as I lay down tonight and go to sleep. I've got the world on my back, and I'm praying for every bit of this existence. And I'm saying thank you to all of you who may be listening to this, who may be watching this. Thank you for being part of my story and my healing. And I hope to be part of yours in some way. Something that I've been really focused on since I heard the notion recently is that kindness and compassion, gentleness, they're not character traits. They're not innate. They're practices. It's a practice just like yoga is a practice, just like meditation is a state that you get to through practicing, just like music is a practice, something you work at every day. You work at it, you work at it, and you work at it, and you fail, and you fail, and you fail, and you just keep working at it. See, I always thought that maybe I was a little fucked up because I secretly was kind of not that great at being kind sometimes, and I wasn't that great at showing compassion, and I wasn't that great at being gentle. I wasn't that great at being quiet. But I learned from a movie about Mr. Rogers that these things are a practice. And if they're a practice, then I can do them. And even if I fail, I'm just going to try again and keep practicing. So healing is a practice. Forgiveness is a practice. None of us are going to be perfect at it all the time, and none of us are going to be great at it all the time. And some of us are just going to have a hard time finding it. But if we practice and we practice, I think it's there for us. I think it is. I've found it in small doses throughout my day. I've found that when I can be in kindness, when I can be in compassion, when I can be in my gentleness, the rewards bubble over into creating kindness through others and compassion through others and gentleness through others. And then we're all kind and we're all gentle in that moment. And it's just a beautiful respite from the story that I have in my head of the pain in my life, and the story that I have in my head of my resentments towards others, and my story in my head of my justifiable rage and anger. And there's a moment of respite when I find gentleness and compassion and kindness with another human being. And there's even more of a respite when I find it when I'm completely alone. Because I have had a hard time finding that quiet gentleness sitting alone. I have been addicted to people and attention from them and positive attention from them. And I have been resentful and angry about critical attention or negative attention from other people. But when I can find my kindness and my gentleness and my compassion, and I live in that, I don't have room for resentment, and I don't have room for anger, and I don't have room for any more pain in those moments. My body is as big as existence. There's rivers and there's valleys and there's cliffs and there's highways and there's cities. And there's rain and there's snow. And there's fire. And there's wind. There's earth. There's every bit of everything. And the pain is so much smaller then. And the trauma is so much smaller then. Where would you put your pain? Out in all these mountains, out in all this sky and all this space and all this moon. Where would you put your pain? And if you put it there, would you still see it? If you found a home for it where it didn't live on top of your heart and it didn't close in on your chest like so much weight that you can't breathe sometimes, if you could find that you are big enough to hold that pain amongst all this beauty, could you breathe easier? I'm in love. I am in love. I am love. Let's call in Ram Dass for a moment. I am loving awareness. 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 Good night. Be gentle to yourself.